This summer we are saving our coins and doing our hair ourselves. Let me show you how I did these cute Senegalese or rope twists myself. Hello friends, it has been a minute since your girl has dropped a hair video, but today I am coming to you with a Senegalese rope twist hair tutorial. I'm starting off with freshly washed hair. All I did was wash and blow dry it, and I am using the Shake and Go Freetress Braid 301 natural texture braiding hair in 56 inches. I ended up using 2.5 bundles. And then for the curly pieces, because yes, this is a bohemian style, I use the Q Milky Way human braiding hair, and it comes with 2 bundles in the pack. This hair is really soft. It did not tangle. I've been wearing it for about 4 days now, and I haven't had any issues with it tangling, but I'll keep y'all posted. I'm also using the Magic Finger Shining Jam, and y'all, at this point I was getting super excited, like 56 inches about to be down my back. But this is how much hair I ended up using for each twist, so not a lot. Not sure how to tell y'all how to measure that out, but you can see what I'm doing. This braiding hair, the human braiding hair, was so easy to prep. I just pulled it out of the little weft thing it came in, and I used some of that shining jam just to straighten out the end, and this helped with just gripping it and the hair not flying around everywhere. And this is how it looks once I put the shining jam on there. Then I just put it on my braiding rack, and that was it. Your girl was prepped and ready to go, honey. Y'all, at this point, this is when I knew this style ain't for the weak. It took a minute for me to even figure out how to do it, but once I figured it out, got the hang of it, it went by quicker than I thought. I thought this was gonna be a little 3-hour style, because usually when I do twists, it only takes me about 3.5 hours. This took me about 5 hours. So I started off by parting it off and then adding a little shining jam to the root area of my hair. And then, as you can see, I want to start off with a braid. So I just put the braiding hair and use the 2 braiding hair legs, and then use my hair as the 3rd leg. So I'm going to show you this multiple times in the video. I braid down about 5 or 6 times, and then I start twisting. And then once I start twisting, I do add in the curly pieces. After I've twisted about 3 or 4 times down, I added 3 pieces to each twist in the back. This is a lot. So when I got toward the front, I started just doing 2. You can do however much curly hair you want to do, but I didn't want my style to be super huge. So yeah, I would just recommend doing 2 pieces. But if you want that big fluffy bohemian vacation look, you can add in more curly hair if you would like. So as you can see, I'm adding in the curly hair also to the bottom. Y'all, don't do this. Skip past this whole step right here. I'm showing you that I did it, but don't do this. So, and you'll see why at the end. Well, kind of see why. You can't really tell, but I just don't like how thin the ends look. I would rather have taken the ends and curled them. But so I twisted in the curly hair, and then I'm going to create a knot at the end so that my twist does not unravel, and I'm going to use a little hair glue just to secure the ends so they do not unravel. But I'm going to show you this again, what I'm doing. So I started it off by parting it off, then I take the braiding hair, use that as the 2 legs, and my regular hair, my natural hair, as the 3rd leg. I'm going to braid them about 5 or 6 times, and then start my twist about 4 or 5 times, and then add in the curly hair. And then I'm going to keep on twisting down, take that curly piece out, add a little bit more shining jam just to smooth those ends, and continue the twist. Once you get the hang of it, it's not that hard. It is just very time consuming adding in those curly pieces. If you're doing the miracle knots, it'll probably be a lot easier because that's just a little thin rope in the middle. But I just wanted to try it out and see how I liked it before I spent $200-300 on that miracle knot human curly hair. But I'm definitely going to do this style again, but I think I'm going to try the miracle knot hair instead of this. And I know that I'm not going to add the curly pieces at the end. I'm just going to twist all the way to the end, tie it off, add a little bit of hair glue just to secure it, and then I'm going to go back and curl the ends with rollers. I'm showing you the step again. Braid down about 5 or 6 times, split the hair in the middle, twist together, add in your curly piece, and then continue to twist before you add in another curly piece. Like I said, you can add in as many curly pieces as you would like. Just be mindful that the more curly hair you add, the bigger the style is going to be, or the fuller that it's going to be. As you can see, I was just cleaning it up right there. So the curly pieces have a straight end, so they were sticking out of the twist just a little bit, so I did cut those pieces off. It was not my hair. I made sure that it was not my hair, but yeah, just so it can look a little neater. So on this one, you'll be able to see all 3 pieces of the curly hair that I did add, including the piece at the end. It turned out really, really cute. I've gotten a lot of compliments on it, but wearing it, I've realized some things that I could have done better. So I don't want y'all to make the same mistakes I did. That's why I'm dropping this video. So yeah, I twisted it all the way down. Then I'm going to take a piece of that hair at the bottom and just knot it around, and then use some of that hair glue, the nail glue, just to secure it at the end so it won't untangle. And this is where I messed up. So at the end, I cut off the straight piece instead of curling it, and that's why it turned out a little thin at the ends. I mean, still cute, but just a little thin at the ends. So I would recommend that you just twist all the way down to the bottom. Do not add in that curly piece at the bottom, and then take a flex rod and just roll it at the end and dip it in hot water to curl that hair at the end, instead of doing it the way I did it. But like I said, however you want to do it, it still turned out super, super cute. I still love the style, and I will be doing it again. Yeah, it did take longer than I expected, but overall it turned out super, super cute. And this was the finished result, y'all. When I finished, y'all could not tell me nothing. I mean, your girl did that. It does look full at the ends when it's all together, so you can't really tell that I messed up, but trust me, I did. I know some people might say my parts are a little big. I don't care. I like them. I didn't have all night. If you got a few extra hours to spare, do your parts how you want to do your parts, boo-boo. But I think it turned out super, super cute. And if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let your girl know how I did down in the comments. If you like it, if you don't like it, whatever, still let me know. Until next time, bye.